Ezra Levant here for the Rebel.media. We are on a special mission to northern Iraq. Our mission is called SaveTheChristians.com. I'm standing in an all-Christian refugee camp called Enkawa to Ashti. Enkawa is the Christian quarter of the large city of Erbil in northern Iraq in the semi-autonomous Kurdish region. This is not a United Nations camp. This is a Christian camp, because Christians are not welcome at UN camps. Well, maybe they're technically welcome, but not in real life. They're persecuted in those camps. ISIS and other Islamic supremacists operate in United Nations camps, so either the Christians are left out in their communities to be ravaged by terrorists, or they come to this camp and several more like them. We're here in Iraq as the news is spreading through the region that the city of Mosul, the largest city conquered by ISIS, has been liberated. This is the part of a very large military operation. Iraqis, American air cover, of course, and the Peshmerga, which are a Kurdish militia. It's also unnecessary. After George W. Bush led the invasion of Iraq and the surge that conquered it, Iraq, if not peaceful, was at least quiet, and Al-Qaeda was more or less vanquished. It was only in his haste to pull out every single last U.S. troop by 2012 for an election talking point that Barack Obama left a power vacuum, and into that ISIS grew, and before long conquered an area as large as the United Kingdom with millions of people in it. Iraq was broken up, and parts of Syria as well. Mosul, a city of more than 1 million. And finally, it's been re-liberated, but at a great cost. All the Christians in this refugee camp were driven out of either Mosul or an area called the Nineveh Plain. Nineveh, of course, being a biblical land. Christians have lived in Nineveh for millennia, for more than 1,000 years. And yet the political decision to abandon Iraq directly led to ISIS and the dislocation and murder of so many people, not just Christians, but another minority called Yazidis. As we've learned, all the Christians in this camp were given a choice by ISIS: convert to Islam, pay a submissive tax called the jizya, or die by the sword. Well, they fled rather than face those three ordeals. The thing about ISIS being defeated in Mosul is it probably portends the defeat of ISIS generally. It's their largest city that they've lost. Their capital is still in Raqqa. That will probably be lost too. It's incredible that it has taken so long, obviously with a dedicated effort of several months. The United States, let alone the rest of NATO, could have wiped out ISIS. But again, it was political decisions that made them not do so. If Barack Obama promised to pull every soldier out of Iraq by 2012, he couldn't very well put soldiers back in 2014 to take care of ISIS, couldn't he? It's only now that the Obama administration is gone that this is happening. But here's the thing about these Christians, the ones who survived at least. The troubles for them are not over. With ISIS's pending defeat, perhaps the media attention will turn away, but there are other threats to Christians in the region. A century ago, it was the Turks who prosecuted the Armenian genocide, murdering more than 1 million Armenian Christians simply because they were Christian. That's a larger Christian death toll than ISIS ever had. And I'm told that even as ISIS has retreated from the Nineveh Plain and other Christian towns, that Iran-backed military groups, I would call them terrorists, Shiite Arabs backed by Iran, are reasserting themselves in that void, torching homes of Christians so the Christians will remain ethnically cleansed. This is a horrific place of the world, endlessly complicated, but there is one simple fact that is as true today in 2017 as it was 100 years ago in the Turkish genocide of Armenia, and it has been for centuries since. Christians are always abused, ethnically cleansed, and we are in the midst of yet the latest genocide. We're here to do something about that. Our goal is to raise $1 million at SaveTheChristians.com and find the most reliable, least corrupt way to spend that money on Christians. We're here at an outstanding Christian refugee camp. We're visiting other Christian-oriented refugee facilities, whether it's a clinic or simply apartments, or even a documentary project to document, like the Yad Vashem documents the Holocaust against the Jews, to document the Muslim Holocaust against Christians in the region. If you want to learn more about this campaign, go to SaveTheChristians.com. In addition to raising humanitarian relief, we're raising a separate budget to make a professional documentary to share the story of these beleaguered Christians with a world that too often ignores their plight. For the Rebel.Media, I'm Ezra Levant at the Ankawa to Ashti refugee camp in northern Iraq. I'm here at a Christian refugee camp in northern Iraq. The Christians are always ignored in Iraq. They're the perpetual victims of genocide. If you want to help us tell their story and bring them humanitarian relief, you can do both of those things at SaveTheChristians.com.